Hello, this is Kev. I know I'm a little late with this one, but I thought it was important for me to come on the air and give you an update on this situation. This is a video. This is something I reported very early when I first started YouTube last year, um, and the story got a lot of attention and of support from the viewership. So I think it's only right that I give my personal take on the results of what has happened since then. Um, yes, this is a tragic story that broke. It was a year ago. On March 11th, little 4-year-old Aniyah Garrett was murdered by her mother and her boyfriend. Um, um, it was a very, very sad, tragic incident, and everything about what happened leading up to this love to the little girl's murder was just wrong. It was a case of basically it was a case of a huge failure on the system. The Department of Child Services, of course, a failure to a father who pleaded with the very system that failed him to please give him custody of his daughter because I mean in a full letter wrote a full letter saying that I deeply believe that my daughter's life is in danger. And unfortunately, he was correct. Sierra Day, the mother, was charged. Let me do a screen share real quick. By the way, for my viewing audience and the people who will watch it will be able to rewatch it later on demand via YouTube. Thanks for tuning in, and as always, please hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, and that's it. Do what y'all got to do. Yes. Let me clear some things up. In my first video entitled, let me make sure I get it right. Father of murdered 4-year-old Aniyah Day Garrett reportedly suffers a heart attack. Um, Originally, it said has suffered a heart attack, and in the video itself, I stated that he had a heart attack. It was not a hangout; it was an edited video, and it came out subsequently, very shortly afterwards, that it was a social media hoax, and it was cleared up by Mr. Garrett himself. So that was a mistake on my part. I did the video. All I can say is I did the video at the time that it was first reported that he had a heart attack. But that was just some. That's why you have to be really careful about what your source material on social media. You got to make sure that they're verifiable sources, and you just can't jump on something and run with it just because an unreliable source says so. Um, so that's the first. The second is in that video, I pronounced the man's name as Mikhail Garrett, which I know is the very least of it all. It's the very least of it all. But his name is spelled to where it's understandable to make a mistake like that. But his name is Michael Garrett. It's Michael. So my humblest apologies for that as well. But anyway, this is a picture of him with his daughter, Aniyah Garrett. When you see reports, it'll say Aniyah Day Garrett. I don't know that was her mother's last name. So if you type Aniyah Day Garrett in search engines, you're going to find this information. But as far as I'm concerned, her name is Aniyah Garrett. Because her mother doesn't deserve to have anything tagged on that little girl since she had, after all, killed her. And it was one of the saddest things. Like she died when she was 4 years old. Um, I have a 4-year-old daughter, and that you know is kind of carries herself like this little girl carries herself in these pictures with a big bright smile. But my daughter's she's happy, you know, being with two non-abusive parents. Like she happy. I love her. I play with her every chance I get. I hug her. In this little girl in the pic in this little girl's life in the picture, just the opposite was going on. Um, Abuse was reported to the Department of Child and Family Services in Euclid. Um, and it's a county that begins with a C. I have a hard time pronouncing it. I don't want to screw it up, but in one of the videos that I'm about to show y'all, they may pronounce it. In that county, it was abuse was reported 14 times during the course of from the little girl being 1 year old to at the time of her death at 4 years old. 14 times. And in a video that I'm about to show you, Michael Garrett can explain it a lot better than I can. This man has been through a lot. So let me just show you. Let me show you the first video, just to show y'all what I'm talking about. It's like this whole situation is just very, very sad. Okay, let me find it. This is via www.cleveland19.com. Okay, let me show you this video. This is Michael Garrett speaking. Hopefully it doesn't show an ad first. If it does, we'll get through it.
He walks, cradling an urn close to his chest. Michael Garrett carries the ashes of his beloved daughter, Aniyah. It was placed in the middle of a table, a pink tiara adorning the urn. Heartbreaking to all who saw it. It's just gut-wrenching how they could treat a baby like that.
1 year ago today, we lost a beautiful angel.
Aniyah died after being neglected by her mother, Sierra Day, and her boyfriend, Deonte Lewis. The two just found guilty of her murder, but instead of focusing on her sad and tragic death, her father focuses on change.
Each and every time she had a chance, she told social workers, she told daycare workers, and she told the hospital, and she even told police. Mommy hit me.
All of Aniyah's cries for help went unheard. Michael says he desperately tried to gain custody, and that's why there are so many tears.
She didn't deserve that. Nobody deserves that. And for something like that to just slip through the cracks like that, it's just unbearable.
The grieving father also cradles a framed picture of her favorite dress and shoes. All this to remind people the toddler didn't have to die.
We want to see a better system with the police being able to go inside, the law enforcement, go inside the homes and be able to get our children out the homes in an emergency matter.
He says take a look at these pictures and remember inside this urn are ashes of a 4-year-old girl and hopes this type of tragedy never happens again.
We are going to hold our foot down on Cuyahoga County and DCFS next.
Yeah, and he said Cuyahoga County. Yeah, I said that it might be pronounced correctly in the video. And DCFS, Department of Children and Family Services. I mean, yes, you have to put, like, when stuff like this happens, you have to put your foot on their necks. You ignore 14 reports. Let me give you a fact. Let me give you a fact. Let me put an image up here first, because I want you to see a face of a monster. I want you to see the face of a monster. This is Sierra Day. This is okay, and this is where all the expletives are about to come in. This is the little monstrous bitch who murdered her little girl. Okay, let me give you a fact. even after those 14 reports, even after a father's plea through a letter to the courts, it all fell on deaf ears. Sierra Day went to the police one time, several months before she murdered her little girl, and accused Michael of abusing her and her daughter. Within that same day, I think not even 30 minutes or an hour, that she got a restraining order against him. So the system pays attention. I just want to let you know that. The system pays attention. And this is why I will always say the most unprotected class in America and possibly the world are black children. You heard what he said. You heard what Michael Garrett said. That little girl told everybody. Seriously, what is wrong with people? Like, honestly, yeah. And I'm gonna get to Deonte Lewis in a minute, but but I'm gonna say it again. From 1 year old to 4 years old, 14 reports of abuse, including this little girl who even the daycare staff was interviewed at some point. She would approach the daycare workers. Look, man, it's like, am I a bad girl? Do I deserve this? Like, little girl, like with her introspection on life, on her perception of life, already trying to see why this is happening to her. So in a very, very small way, a child knows, or basically with living with a monster like that, whatever she's been exposed to. So here's the results. Sierra Day got life in prison without parole. I mean, and that doesn't bring the little girl back, but at least this monster can't do it to anyone else. Lock her up, throw away the key. No one ever here. She's thrown away. But we got to start asking ourselves. It's like, okay, if somebody like that can just walk into a police station and say, hey, you know what, this and this is happening. Can you really say a person that like that or looks like her is an unprotected class? Seriously. You ignore a black man and a black child. But you do for her. And I mean, there's physical evidence. This girl was coming to school with injuries. She was coming to school with injuries, visible injuries. And DCFS did nothing about it. So in Cuyahoga County and DCFS, they need to be beating down them doors every day to make sure that this does not happen to another child. And in fact, all over the United States, there's plenty of things there's plenty of things happening to our children right now. There's been some pretty sick incidences as of recent, but right now, making sure that we are aware that there are monsters in our community, and us tax-paying citizens have a right to demand of these entities to do something about it. Because what you don't want to do is force people into a situation where they got to take out this justice themselves. Yeah, as a black man, Michael Garrett, I can't say Michael Garrett had any real chance of ever getting custody of his daughter because of the way the system works, mostly. I mean, it's just like that. You know what I'm saying? It's a shame that this little girl had to die in order for you to find out how bad this mother really was. I mean, and everybody ignored all the signs, except for the people who loved the little girl, of course, and her father. Yeah. Okay. So this bitch is gone. She's got life in prison. Okay. Deonte Lewis has life. And let me see if I can pull up a picture of Deonte Lewis real quick. Deonte Lewis, the young man with the faraway look in his eye, he has life without. I mean, I'm sorry. He has life with the possibility of parole in 20 years. Now, he actually got his lawyer to plead to have all the charges dropped, like all of them. Please let me go. You know, this like it was a last ditch effort for him. Please let me go. I never abused, and I'll just go ahead and show you the video of his plea. But, you know, I'm just going to go ahead and say, I'm just going to put out a disclaimer, you know, before I show this video. I am not caping for Deonte Lewis at all in what I'm going to say after the video about, you know, his plea, so to speak. His plea to have all the charges dropped, which is crazy to me. That's crazy. I mean, let me show the video real quick. There he is.
I love Aniyah. I truly do. I did not harm her at all, or I did anything to her. As God is my witness, I would never do anything to harm. I keep my faith in God. I put all things in His hands.
And that's why you're going to prison.
Right now, just I do. You judge, and I think everybody feels.
I'm sorry. It's really hard to feel sorry for him because think of what you could have did if you'd have interjected. That girl could have been alive. Let me read something to y'all real quick. Okay, since this little man wants to be like, oh my God, feel sorry for me. I had nothing to do with this. Like I didn't do anything. I love that little girl. If you love that little girl, let's see what he actually. Let me read some bullet points real quick. And then you tell me out there. And I mean, like, you know, there's some sick people out there that might say that, hey, you know what? He deserves a pass. But, okay, let me tell you what he stood by. You know, and this was off an article when the story first broke. And you can read it for yourself. But, you know, just to have my voice, I'm going to read it anyway. Mother and boyfriend charged with beating her 4-year-old girl to death after first starving her and burning her feet and legs, which very well meant she starved her first, which means that she suffered every day until her mother and it finally just killed her. Let me read these bullet points. Aniyah oh God, it's like I said. Okay, let me start over. Aniyah Garrett, 4, died of a stroke after being severely beaten. Her mother, Sierra Day, and her boyfriend, Deonte Lewis, was charged with murder. Yes, if you stand by and you watch all of that go on, they called 911 on Sunday saying she wasn't breathing and she died in hospital. Tala was malnourished and had rug burn marks on her feet and legs. She also had a badly bruised eye cut above her eyebrow and scalded legs. And you want to tell me Deonte Lewis said, I never did anything once. I never touched her once. You watched it happen. And the fact that he said he loved the little girl, that is her boyfriend. That just wasn't some dude she was fucking. Okay, see, like I said, I'm using curse words, so you know, if you're not that kind of person, this broadcast might not be for you. Like I said, I'm speaking as a YouTube person and a father and a black man. Everything about this is just fucked up. I can't imagine that. Like, no, I can't. Like it just. It's like I said, I got a 4-year-old. It's sickening. Oh man. So you tell me if Deonte Lewis deserved a pass, like he was begging that courtroom. Like, you know, maybe he was thinking to himself, you know, maybe I should try one more time. one more time. But see, at the end of the day, old DL, as his initials are, only cared about pussy. He was one of those guys that put pussy at the top of the list and didn't care enough about a kid to save a little girl's life. Hell, there was many things that he could have did. He could have went to the father. Hey man, she really doing this girl wrong, man. I figure if both of us go to the authorities, we can do something about this. Deonte Lewis didn't do that. He didn't love that little girl. He just fucked. He's just fucked. That's all he is at this point. He's just fucked, and he deserves it. So my suggestion to him, since he has life with the possibility of parole in 20 years, is he better be as good as possible. Take those little butt poundings like a man. Don't drop the soap and read some books. Because you better be a complete angel for 20 years. Because that's the only chance that he has right now. Stupid ass. You could have interjected. You could have gone to jail for beating her ass, but the little girl would have been alive. I have no sympathy for anyone, any grown ass adult that physically bullies a child, physically beats a child. No. And that has been going on since 1 year old. What can a 1 year old do to piss you off that bad? The fuck out of here. But you know, let me stay away from the impassioned speeches, because here's the fact right here, that no matter how angry I get about this, I still have my daughter. I still have my kid. Michael Garrett doesn't have his child anymore. This was one of the first images I saw on social media of this, and it says a lot. It fathers pain. Now, with his newfound activism, I mean, I can only imagine he's saying to himself, "I didn't like." No matter what he did, no matter if he wrote a letter, no matter if he tried to interject to save his daughter, he's always going to be thinking, "I did not do enough. She's gone." The only thing you can do right now at this moment is support this man. Support this man's efforts to make sure that it doesn't happen to other kids. Or the one thing that we're probably going to have to do is, find a way to get the monsters or find a way not to create monsters, because it's like a situation like this is like I don't know, we have to look for solutions in our community, and so this doesn't happen. This doesn't happen. This is obvious. Like, and I know that, and I know bad things happen to people every day, but you know what? Some bad things don't have to happen. And this didn't have to happen. This little girl could have been alive if somebody looked at if someone bothered to actually listen to the little girl. Look at her and think about that. That's a picture of her 3, 4, maybe, right there. Through all of that abuse, all of that hatred spewed toward her. Because guess what? A person with the mentality of Sierra Day, is jealous of a little girl, jealous. Like through all of that hatred, all of that jealousy, all of that abuse, that little girl was still able to produce a smile, which really shows the strength of a black woman at a very early age. And I'm really careful with words, so you need to take what I say very literally. You can assume what you want, but if you're wrong, I'm going to catch you on it. Through all of that she was going through in her short life, she was still able to smile. Must have been when she was around her father. Yeah. I mean, I have a right to say that. You know, and Michael Garrett has a right to say too. Michael Garrett has a right to say anything he wants. Uh, okay. All right. So it's like although justice had been served, look at that. A picture's worth 1,000 words. Look at that. She's up there still attention whoring because I guess whenever she was around her little girl, she was jealous of the attention her little girl was getting because her little girl was so cute. And this stupid motherfucker right here, Deonte Lewis. Oh, why am I in this situation? Because you're a coward. A coward dies 1,000 deaths, and I hope for those 20 years that I previously advised you on, you better be good and you better not do anything, no matter who does anything to you. Because guess what? You're considered a child murderer. Do you know how long child murderers last in prison? As far as they're concerned, you killed a kid. So your chances of making that 20 years aren't that great. They're not. They're not. So you're going to be sitting up there thinking for the rest of your life, which might be short, I should have interjected. I mean, he told me he loved the girl. No, you love the pussy, man. I mean, I can't even, it's, man, and look at the one with the glasses on. That's the face of a monster. It's like she doesn't even give a damn. Yeah, so both of those clowns are up the river. I'm just, I don't know, it's a terrible tragedy, and I wouldn't wish that on the, I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy, of my worst friend. You still have to be careful with words. Your worst enemy is a very broad thing to say, but it was important. So, yeah, that's a blurry picture. I'm about to close this broadcast out. Yeah, look at that. Oh, look at that. Social media, whore, Sierra Day. All right. Rest in peace to Aniyah Garrett. I also wish Michael Garrett, her father, all the luck and all the prayer in the world in his continued fight for justice so that this kind of thing does not ever happen to another child. Unfortunately, this is the world that we live in. It will happen. But, every little bit of work that we can do to make sure that little girls like Aniyah Garrett get to live another day to produce beautiful smiles like this is worth it. And that's all I have to say about it. And just everybody, thanks for watching. If you tuned in, and just let's protect our children. Let's protect our children in our community and the world over. Let's protect our children. Let's make sure that we give them the chance to live, to make positive differences in people's lives, and make and make for some very positive change. Who knows if Aniyah Garrett. Who knows if Aniyah Garrett could have gone on to live to change the world. But now we'll never know. Rest in peace, little angel. Rest in peace. All right. This is Kev, and as I said at the beginning of the video, I think I said at the beginning of the video, this is just a follow up to a story. One of the first stories I did on YouTube. You can check it out. I will provide the link in the description below. Um, and just hug your little one. Yeah, if you have a little one, just hug them a little tighter, knowing that when you do, that you will always be a much better parent than Sierra Day. All right, that's it, and I will talk to you guys later.